Hello, everybody, and welcome to my 10K Q&A. First, I just want to say thank you so much for subscribing. It really means the world to me. I know I've seen a lot of you here come over to places like Patreon and like the other social media accounts that I have, Reddit, all that stuff. And I'm so grateful and appreciative of all your support. So thank you so much. But in celebration, we are going to do ourselves a little Q&A. Now, there's some questions that were asked that I felt uncomfortable answering. And so there was a bunch of questions that were repeated, so I'm gonna answer as many as I can, but I didn't answer the same question more than once, I don't think. At least I try not to. But anyways, thank you, everybody. I don't know how long this is gonna be, so maybe get comfy, because it could be a little while. But thank you so much, and I really, really appreciate you. All right, so first question comes from Zara Wolf, and it says, have you played any instruments other than guitar? I've played bass. I've technically played the drums, but I'm not good at it. But the other thing that I'm pretty decent at is like producing beats and stuff with like a MIDI controller or a keyboard. I can't like actually play a song on the piano, but I'm pretty good at making melodies and orchestrating a beat together from scratch. So other than guitar, that's probably the next thing that I'm moderately good at. Next question is from Ikari Mokioto. I apologize if I say any of these names wrong. I'm gonna try my best. What is your dream job if it's not being an ASMR artist? My dream job has always been to be like a special effects makeup artist, like movies or, just like photos, or to be an owner of my own haunted house. Those have always been like my dream jobs. Next question is from Fairy Guardian. If you had the ability to travel through time with no butterfly effect, what would be the first thing you would try to do? Now, I chose to answer this question without actually having an answer to the question, but just because like the whole travel through time concept is just like, it is something that's so intriguing to me, and I love all that kind of stuff, but I honestly cannot wrap my head around going through time and doing something, without there being a butterfly effect, right? Like, because if you go back and do anything, then everything has changed, like I can't go back and play the winning lottery numbers, because then I would have hit the lottery and made all that money, and I wouldn't have had to go back in time to play the lottery to win, because you know what I mean? So like, would that have canceled each other out? You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I can think about it and talk about it forever. Just like, the whole idea of time travel and doing stuff and what happens if you could and all that stuff. But I honestly, I don't know. I don't know what I would go back and try to do, just because there would be such a butterfly effect. So I honestly, I haven't really thought about what I would do, really. But it's a very thought-provoking question, and I appreciated it, so I wanted to include it in here. Next question is from Caro Paz. Which is the most rewarding video audio you've ever made, and why? So this is a question that I've been asked a fair amount of times in situations like this, and there was a female VA who made her own content and stuff, had approached me to make a custom audio for her, and she was in a wheelchair, and she wanted the audio to be like a boyfriend experience audio, and to include the fact that she was in a wheelchair, but not make that like the focal point. Like, don't fetishize that, but just have that present in the audio. And so I did that, and it was very like subtle things, and she gave me a few tips and stuff. So like, it was just me coming home, and like, it was time to do the deed, and like pushing her down the hallway, helping her in bed, like helping her with her legs, and then just like kind of like business as usual, and her reaction to getting that audio was like, it was probably one of the most gratifying moments of like my career doing these audios. She was just so moved and appreciative of everything that I put into that audio. She said that she couldn't stop crying, like happy tears, and she listened to it a bunch of times and just cried, because she's never received anything like that. There's never been like an audio that like was for her, you know what I mean? There's not a lot of audios that include that type of stuff, and it was just like, it just meant the world to me to be able to create this piece for her to have forever, that like, that just means so much to her. And it was just a very, very rewarding time. It's a very rewarding audio that I've done. Okay, next question from Alicia Teddy. Do you like singing? Yes, I do like singing. I love singing. I've used to be in multiple different bands and groups and stuff over the ages, and I've always been a vocalist, as well as like helping write and produce the music. But yes, I love singing. I sing all the time. And they also asked, when did the journey start of you creating audios? They started off and on about probably like six years ago, I'd say, somewhere in that ballpark. I did them off and on, and it wasn't until October, November 2020, I think, that I like really started going full force with it. Before then, it was just here and there. So, next question. Earth Resident has two questions. Number one, if you meet a new person, doesn't matter female or male, what is the first thing that you will observe about them? Generally speaking, eyes are the first thing that I notice on somebody. If they don't have some sort of like striking feature, you know what I mean? Like, that could be anything from like their body. If somebody has an incredible body or whatever, I might notice that first. Or if a guy is like built or cut up or whatever, I might notice that first. Or if it's not eyes, it's probably going to be tattoos or piercings or something like that. Those always catch my eye first. Or hair, or what they're wearing. Not that like any of that really like matters to me, you know what I mean? It's just as far as like what catches my eye, probably things like that. But I'm not somebody that prefers one thing over another. Like, I don't prefer one body type over another, or tattoos over no tattoos, or hairstyle over another. Like, as far as me getting to know or being intimate with somebody, that stuff doesn't matter. But usually I would say top two are eyes, and tattoos are usually the first things that I notice. And number two is, what is your guilty pleasure? Doesn't matter what aspects. It can be music, food, film, or anything. I don't know that I really have like a guilty pleasure. And it's taken me kind of a long time to be this way. But I've learned to just enjoy what I enjoy, and it is what it is. I don't really feel guilty about any of the things that I like, be it music, food, film, anything like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I would say I have a guilty pleasure. Next question is from Daniel. What are some things that you're passionate about? Well, I'm passionate about a few things. Music. I love music. I love making music. I'm passionate about audios and what I do here. It's become a very big passion of mine doing this, so that's high up on the list. My other passions are haunted houses. I love going to them, working at them, creating makeup and character designs and set designs, stuff like that. Love haunted houses. Special effects makeup, I'm very passionate about that, which I don't do nearly enough, and I need to work on that, because it is so relaxing for me to do, and it's so much fun. Just creating different looks, different effects. So it's something that I want to try to do more of maybe this year. But those are probably my biggest passions. Next question from them is, do you watch anime? I do not. I've never watched any anime, really. No particular reason. I just was never really exposed to it. Nobody that I knew or hung out with really was into it or watched it or anything. So I don't know. I just never really came across my desk. But I might give it a try, because I know a lot of people are into it, and a few people have made some suggestions on what I could watch. But as of right now, I don't watch any. And their last question is favorite genre of movies. Horror is my favorite genre, if you could not guess, because I am spooky dooky. But yeah, horror is my favorite. Next is probably comedy, but I rarely like the combination of the two. It's generally, I love them both, but I love them to be separate. There's only a couple movies that I love that are like horror comedies. Other than that, I'm not usually a fan of them being mixed together. That being said, I don't mind some comedy in like a regular horror movie, but I don't want it to be like a silly comedy with horror. You get what I mean? So yeah. All right, next question from Wewa. What inspired you to start doing voice acting? So I've always been a sexual person. Phone sex was always my jam long before it was an industry like it is now. And I've always loved to talk dirty. And so I stumbled on the subreddit for audios while I was on a different subreddit for text role playing. And when I was introduced to that world, it blew my mind. I was convinced by a friend that I had made on there to start making my own audios, and it made me feel like all the sexy feelings. A lot of feelings that I was seriously lacking at the time. And then once I saw how helpful and beneficial my audios were to the people that were listening, it just quickly became a passion. So yeah. Next question is from Ali0405. Why did you choose the logo that you did? Why a pumpkin? This question I get asked a lot, and there was at least like 5 people that commented and asked this question. I am obsessed with Halloween and anything spooky, and so I just love pumpkins. I love carving them. I love sculpting them, and I just thought it was like a cool way to represent a little bit of like me as a person, and add that into, what I do here. And I just, after I made the logo, and I was working on my Patreon, and I'm looking at other people's Patreons to get, inspired, and I see people have different, pictures for their different tiers, and I'm like, what am I gonna do for that? And I had sketched out my pumpkin logo, and I was like, oh my god, like maybe I could do different kinds of pumpkins. And like once I started doing that, I was like, this is awesome. You can do so much with pumpkins and stuff. And the ones that I drew for my Patreon, I was so in love with. I'm like, these are so cute. And the others that I've made for my merch, or some of them have turned into like emojis and stuff on Discord. But I basically, it's just because I'm a spooky guy and I love Halloween, and that's really all there is to it. And I just wanted a little bit of me represented in what I'm doing, so that is why I just love pumpkins. Sonia Ramos asks, well, she asked some questions were too personal, but I'll answer a few of them that weren't. One of the questions is, if you went to college, what were you studying for, or were you studying a trade? I never went to college. I always wanted to go to college, and I thought about going to college after high school for audio production, because that was when I was like very big into music, and I wanted to pursue that in some way, shape, or form as a career. But it just, that never panned out. And then and there's a special effects makeup college, Tom Savini's school in Pennsylvania, that I've always wanted to go to, but no college for me. Do you have any pets? No, I don't have any pets. I can't have any pets in the apartment I live in, unfortunately. But if I could, I would probably get a cat. And I don't know if I would say I'm more a cat person than a dog person. I love them both. I love animals in general. However, I work a lot, and I just wouldn't be able to properly take care of a dog. So cats are a little more self-sufficient. So if I could, I would get a cat. What is your ideal type? I generally don't like this question because I really don't have an ideal type. I'm not really like that kind of guy. But if I was to try to give some specifics, or like things that like are kind of necessary, it would have to be somebody that has a good sense of humor, because I joke around a lot and I like to laugh and have fun. And if you don't have a good sense of humor, I'm not gonna like you very much. Or like, I'll like people if they don't have a great sense of humor. It won't go any further than being friends. I'll be friends with anybody, but somebody that knows when to be sarcastic and playful and when to turn it off and be serious. I've definitely met people who have a good sense of humor and they're very sarcastic and playful, and that's fun. But like when it comes to like, all right, I need to have a serious talk with you, they just can't turn it off, and that's just something that would eventually deteriorate any kind of relationship for me. Somebody who has a high sex drive, because obviously, and just like a genuine good person. Like, they can't be even remotely racist or sexist or homophobic or any of those things. Like, I don't tolerate any of that shit anywhere in my life. So just be a good person, have a sense of humor, more or less is my requirements for my ideal type. Favorite movie. My favorite movie is, I would say, Return of the Living Dead. That's probably my all-time favorite movie. It is a fantastic horror movie, but bear in mind it is also from the 80s. So I know I think we've watched it in my Discord server during one of my movie nights, and some of the folks were not as on board with how amazing it was, but it is definitely a classic, and I love it. Favorite book? I'm not much of a reader, so I do not have a favorite book. Favorite color? I would say orange, and I don't think that that's very surprising. But orange, red, and black are usually my favorite go-to colors. Let's see. Favorite food? Probably pizza. I don't have a fancy palate or anything like that. I'm a very picky eater. We don't have to get into that. But pizza. Cheese pizza. No toppings, please. That's my favorite. Dressing up or down. They asked a bunch of questions. Dressing up or down. It depends on the occasion. I don't prefer one over the other per se, and I definitely don't prefer one over the other as far as like a significant other. They can dress however they want, but I do. I mean, depending on the occasion, I love to dress up, but I also love to go out in PJs. So it really just depends. I'm fine either way. All right. Next question is from Cheese. Hi. What song makes you sing at the top of your lungs every time? The one song that just makes you feel badass. And I'm so sorry to disappoint you, but I don't really think I have a song. I don't think there's one specific song that makes me do that. Which is funny because I love music so much, but I generally sing any song I know at the top of my lungs and feel badass while I do it. If I'm alone, I don't sing like that with people. But I don't really have like one specific song, and I apologize. Next question from I Like Things. Yep. If you could have a wild animal as a pet, which one would it be? And I thought about this question for probably less than like 0.01 seconds. It would absolutely be a sloth. I love sloths. They're so cute, and I just want to hold them and love them forever. And if I could have one as a pet, I absolutely would. Next couple of questions. There's a few questions from Mary Carmen Rodriguez. Are you an Oreo or Chips Ahoy kind of guy? Chips Ahoy all the way. I'm actually not really a big Oreo fan at all. I used to eat them when I was younger, dip them in milk, down the hatch. I don't drink milk. I've never drank milk. The only way I would have milk is either in cereal or when I dipped Oreos in them. And I wouldn't drink the milk after. I would dump it out. And I know, the gasp that probably came over multiple people after hearing that. And I apologize. I am a savage. But Chips Ahoy is what I would prefer. Favorite genre of music? I love all different kinds of music. There's usually, I don't think there's any genre that I don't have like an artist or a song that I enjoy and would just like put on to listen to. But if I had to pick a top, probably heavy metal or like metalcore type music is my favorite. Things with heavy riffs, good breakdowns, but like melodic with screaming and singing. That's like kind of like my go-to thing. Are you bilingual? No, unfortunately, I'm not. I would love to learn another language or two, though. I only know like the basics in Spanish, but that's really it. But I would really love to learn another language. How are you? I'm doing well. I did see that there was a few of you that just asked how I was doing, and I really appreciate that. And I'm glad people are asking like all different kinds of questions and wanting to get to know a little bit more about me. But it is really nice that that a bunch of you were just asking like how I'm doing, and I mean, trying my best, times are hard for people all over the place right now, for a multitude of reasons, and so I think we're all just trying our best, and but I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty good. I'm trying to look at the positives and, the brighter side of things. And it's not going too bad. So thank you for asking. Favorite season? Favorite season would obviously be spooky season. My favorite season is fall, when all the leaves start to turn colors, and it sounds morbid, but when everything starts to die and leaves are falling, it's like, hooded sweatshirt weather. That's my favorite season. I love it. Are you ready for 10K more of us? I'm ready for 100K more of you. Bring it on. No, but thank you again so much for everybody that's here, everybody that's listening. And we're up over 11K now, which is amazing. So thank you all so much. I appreciate it. You'll never know how much it means to me to have everybody's support. It really is. It's just incredible. Little G. I answered the pumpkin one. Anything we should be looking out for as far as channel, audios, or merch? I don't have anything planned for this channel, but I would like to do a little more with this channel. I want to try to do like a live event at some point. I want to look into that. I'm not sure like what I would do. I originally wanted to do this Q&A live, but just time restraints and everything. I've done a lot of live Q&As in the past on like Discord and stuff, and they tend to run pretty long, and depending on how many people show up, it can just be it can be a lot. I need people to come help and moderate, and I might miss questions, or I don't want to make anybody feel bad by not answering their questions like live, you know what I mean? So like I just felt like this was the best route to go this time around. But we'll see what happens. Once we hit 50K, we'll see what we can do as far as like a live Q&A. But I would like to do before then. I don't know how long that would take me to get to 50K again. But I'll figure it out. I do want to do like some kind of live event here on YouTube. I'll think about that. I'll get back to you on that. As far as audios, I mean, I constantly have audios coming out. Like here, I do like exclusive audios here on YouTube, Reddit, Patreon. I'm on Quinn, which they're getting huge. Vanilla Audio, they're amazing. I might be working with another site soon as well. We'll see. I'm talking with somebody else. But I mean, I have a lot of really fun audios planned for this month across all of those platforms. And the ones that aren't public, like on Reddit, I'll try to get at least like teasers up here on YouTube, so you can have like a little taste of it, a little piece of it. So I'm pretty excited. Some of the ideas, some of the audios that I'm gonna do are a little bit different, which I think is good. It's sort of like takes a break from like the realism of like most of the audios that I do. Some of the audios that I'm gonna do this month are more in like a fantasy realm. So I'm pretty excited about that. And also because like I love to act, you know what I mean? I love to pretend to be other characters that aren't myself. And which a lot of my audios are characters that aren't myself. But like something in like more character driven, you know what I mean? So I'm excited to do that. And as far as like the merch store goes, I do new stuff every now and again. I try to do some new stuff for For Halloween, I did a bunch of new pumpkins. For Christmas, I did a bunch of new pumpkins. So at some point soon, I'll probably try to make some more designs and get them up there. But I still have to work on them. So I wouldn't expect anything new in the merch store this month. But maybe next month or the month after, there'll be some new stuff in there. Let me see here. They also asked, how do you feel about audio pirates? And it is very frustrating. I know that some people repost content just to get it out there more, or just because they love it, and other people enjoy listening to it. But when you download my work and post it somewhere, like, I no longer have control of who gets to listen to it, or like where it goes, and there are just places that it doesn't belong, and I can't, having no control and having somebody just take my stuff and post it wherever they want. I just find it very, very disrespectful, and I do not give any kind of consent to doing that. That being said, I've had people ask me if they can post stuff. Generally speaking, I'll say no. But at least they asked. And then there's just the people who will download my audios and put them out there and pretend that it's theirs. That has happened multiple times, especially here on YouTube. I've had to have 2 or 3 accounts over the past 3 years shut down because they downloaded my audios and posted them on here and just passed it off as their own. And that is incredibly frustrating and dangerous, because you're impersonating me, right? So you could say anything, you could do anything, and people are gonna think that it's me, and that is not okay ever at all. So it can be very, very frustrating. All right, next question from Cece's World. What's the funniest way you remember being injured? I don't know that I've been injured in a very funny way. I don't find it funny when I get injured. However, there's one time that me and my friends used to go to this bar, and I'm not a drinker, so I would go to just hang out, and at the bar they had this punching machine. I don't know if they have them at some arcades and stuff. Some bars have them. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but you put $1 in, and this arm comes down with like a speed bag on it, and you punch it as hard as you can, and it gives you a score. It's total meathead thing, whatever. But it was a lot of fun, and I didn't drink, so I would bring $100 to the bar, and I would just pump dollars into it and just slug this thing all night long. And it was just whatever. It was fun. I'm not really a violent person, but it's just it was more the competitiveness, because my friends would hit it too, and we would try to beat each other's numbers, and that's more what it was. And I also I was young and kind of dumb at the time, so bear that in mind. I thought that it could be impressive to some of the ladies that were at the bar, but I think they probably all thought that I was an idiot, which is fair enough. Nothing ever I never hit the thing, got a high score, and had somebody come up and be like, "Oh hey, look at how strong you are." No, that never happened. But there was one time that I put the $1 in, arm came down. I took 3 or 4 steps back to get a 1-2 step head start. I took my 1-2 steps, and I threw my whole body into swinging to hit this thing, and I completely missed. And the way that I swung my body, I punched the brick wall that this machine was up against, like full force, as hard as I could. And I didn't, like, I don't know how I didn't break like every bone in my hand. My middle knuckle on my right hand is still like like bigger. I probably like chipped the bone or something. It doesn't hurt, but it's not how it used to be, and it doesn't look right like my other knuckle. But I just felt like such an idiot. You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess that's not exactly like the funniest thing, but oh god, it's just so dumb. If you could know the absolute truth to one question, what would you ask? That's a very thought-provoking question. That's very that's up there with like the time travel one. Because like, I don't know. I feel like it, like when I saw this question, I was originally trying to think of like something to ask about aliens. Because I'm very intrigued about, extraterrestrials and, life outside of this world. But like, I feel like I would have so many questions that I couldn't just pick one. And the question is one question. Because like, I want to be like, are there aliens out there? And well, like, I'm pretty confident. I feel like I can say I know for a fact that there are an intelligent life out there, that there is intelligent life out there, somewhere in the universe. I mean, it's pretty, I don't know. That's just the way I feel. So I wouldn't waste that question on that. And I thought about asking, like, are there aliens here on Earth? But like, if the answer was no, I'd be like, okay, well, like, I kind of assumed that there isn't, and if that was true, I feel like I would have wasted the question. So I think if I could ask one question and know the absolute truth, I think it would be, what's at the end of the universe? Like, is there an end? You know what I mean? Like, we're kind of, our brains are programmed to look at things, and it makes sense that everything has a beginning, everything has an end. And does that apply to the universe? Is there a beginning? Is there an end? And like, what is at the end of the universe? Is it like Men in Black? Are we just in little marbles being played by, aliens on another planet in another universe? You know what I mean? Like, what is out there? It's just the things I think about. Weirdo. LR asked, are you single? Yes, a lot of people ask this question, and I don't really get too much into my personal life, but yeah. What is your ethnicity? I am Armenian, Italian, and English. There might be some other stuff on. My dad is the one, the English. There might be some other stuff in there that I don't know about, but that's those I can say for sure. Are you into horror? We've gone over this. Yes, absolutely. I love horror. That's why I have the pumpkin logo, and it's just, I've always been very much into horror. Ever since I was a little kid. It's always just been my thing. Rose asks, where are you from? Now it's like another, like, I can't get too specific, right? but I'm from the East Coast in the United States. When did you start playing guitar? Rose also asked. I started playing at 14. I have a brother, and he got a guitar and didn't really play it that much. And so I played his guitar more than he did for a good long while. So it was around 14. Their last question is, who's your favorite music artist? And again, that's like a tough question. Like, I don't know. I it's weird. I don't really like to have favorites, you know? There's just so many that I love. But some of like the artists that I love that I'll put on just to like listen to while I'm driving or whatever, are the Browning. They are they're like a heavy hardcore type of band, but they have like a little bit of like electronic and dubstep like overtones and stuff involved in there, and I just think I love that combination. Another band in that ballpark is a German band. We Butter the Bread with Butter. I think they're incredible, and I've been listening to them for a long time. It's just, I don't know, I just love their sound. It's just so heavy, but they have like a little bit of like the electronic stuff in there. Like I don't speak German, so I don't know like really what they're saying. But it's pretty good stuff. Another artist that I love is Tech Nine. I've loved Tech Nine for so long, since Absolute Power came out, which, what was that, like 2001, somewhere around there, I think. I love like Ed Sheeran, just all different kinds of stuff, you know, in all different areas. So next question from Misa Kai Jun. I hope I said that right. They have two questions. One, do you have scripts or prompts for others to read or record? I've only ever performed one script, and it wasn't written by myself. It wasn't written by me, I should say. That worded that funny. I did not write the script that I performed. I don't write scripts for myself or for others, so the answer would be no. I don't have scripts or anything for others to read or record. I improvise everything that I do, so I mean, sometimes I'll jot down a couple ideas, and the most I'll write is like a little paragraph, but it's usually like one or two sentences, and then I just hit record and go. So and the next question from them is, when you're not working tirelessly to provide us with amazing content, what do you do to relax? Thank you for the kind words. The only thing that I like to do to relax is to like chill and watch movies. That's like my biggest thing. Unless it's like spooky season, and then I can do spooky stuff. Anything from just going to walk around a Halloween store to going to haunted houses or stuff like that. But generally speaking, movies are my go-to. Next couple questions from Kate O. What's your comfort food show when you're not feeling well? And this could be while you have a cold or otherwise. If I'm not feeling good, like if I'm sick, I'll generally just have like soup. It's kind of like my comfort thing. But usually I just try to hibernate and let the illness pass. But otherwise, like if I'm just feeling like blah and depressed, just a bunch of like warm brownies or warm cookies are like my comfort food. And generally I'll put on anything with Denzel Washington in it. It's like he's like my comfort actor. I love him so much, and just about anything he's ever been in, if it's on or available, I'll put it on. Like last night, actually, I was awake far too long, and I put on one of his movies, and I plan on going to sleep during it, but I couldn't look away. He's such an amazing man. Next question is, if you won the lotto, what do you think you'd do? And they said, they feel we've all considered this what if. It depends on how much money. If I won enough to buy an island for me and whoever wanted to come live with me on it, I know some of the people in my Discord server and stuff knows what I mean. We've definitely talked about this before. But if it wasn't anything insane like that, like, $500 billion or whatever, I would make sure that like my family and close friends were all taken care of, and all set. I'd buy myself like a sweet house, the typical stuff. Maybe get like a tiger or two, just normal, like average stuff. Like I'd have an entire like room or wing in the house for like all my sloths and like normal stuff. And I would probably quit my job and just do audios full time. So yeah, just normal stuff like that. Bruna Bonfatti, what cologne do you wear? They asked. The cologne that I wear is funny enough. It's called Sexual Steel, and it smells delicious, and I love it. Let's see. Next question is from Lena Balanza. If money was no object, what would you do all day? And this is sort of similar to the winning the lottery question. But and I guess we can also add this to the lottery question. Other than doing audios all day, that's probably what I would do, is just focus all day, every day on, being a content creator. I would design and open my own haunted house. That's absolutely something I would do if money was no object, and if I won the lottery, that would be my go-to thing. That, and I'd definitely get more into doing special effects makeup. So let's see. Nicole Gonzalez, what are your top 5 slow jams? Oof. So I don't really like go out of my way to listen to stuff like this, but if it's, if we're getting, turn the lights down and close the door, put some music on, that type of thing is going down. So much Usher. Love that man's voice. The Obvious Pony by Genuine. But I'm not really too picky. Anything sexy, is my favorite slow jam. Glory asks, do you play video games? No, I'm not a gamer. Not really, even when I was a kid. The games that I would like to play were like Sonic or Crash Bandicoot or like Mortal Kombat, stuff like that. I was never really into like the games that required like a whole lot of focus or concentration or thinking. I know that kind of makes me sound dumb. Maybe not. But they just, I don't know, they just weren't really my thing. I just never really got into stuff like that. And then I just stopped playing stuff one day, and I haven't really played a video game, and I don't even want to say how long. So, I'm not really a gamer. Next question from Lynette85. What is the most difficult, challenging audio you've ever done? It's a great question. I would say as far as challenging goes, it would be there's an audio on Patreon called Split Decision, and it was an audio that was done in October, so it was a bit on the darker side. But I had to play 3 characters, myself, my good subconscious, and my evil subconscious. And as somebody who only does like improv, having to bounce around to 3 different voices, characters, like I had my normal voice, and then I did a slightly different voice for my good subconscious, and a different voice for my evil subconscious, and having to just bounce back and forth to those 3 things like as I went along, because I didn't write a script or anything like that. So like I had to like go, and I'm like, okay, this would be a good spot to like jump back a little and do the good subconscious, and then okay, well, like maybe a little bit of banter between the good and evil one, and then the normal me comes in and tells everybody to shut up for a second. Like there was a lot. It was very challenging, but it was a lot of fun to do. So I had so much fun doing it, but it was probably the most challenging audio that I've made. Becca asks, we have our first date. What do you have planned? Well, Becca, may I interest you in... Oh, I don't know. I'm a very chill, laid back guy. So honestly, it would probably be something easy, because that's just the way I am. It would all depend on, like where our conversation led, right? So like the first day could be in my bedroom, or it could be, rent a movie on like Prime or whatever, come over and I'll cook dinner for us, or take you out somewhere for dinner and a movie. Dinner and a movie is like my ideal date. That's like my perfect date. Just because like having dinner, we get to sit down, I get to just look at you and be like, man, I'm so lucky, right? And then get to like talk, get to know each other a little better, and then watching a movie together, it's like we got to be close. We don't have to be like too close, and there's something that we can focus our attention on if like we're not feeling like focusing our attention on each other. Like maybe we're just looking at the movie and reflecting on dinner and like how we feel about the other person, or we're just enjoying the movie with each other's company. That's just, I don't know, I just really like that vibe, that whole thing. So that's probably what I would suggest for our first date. That's not anything crazy. I'm a very plain Jane kind of guy, and I like it. I like that. All right, next question is from Catherine Jensen. What is your go-to Halloween costume? My go-to Halloween costume, usually, if I can't think of anything else, would probably be an evil clown. That is usually my go-to Halloween costume. Next question from Mary Zerthing. Is the way you act in videos pretty similar to how you act in real life? Yes and no. It depends on the audio, right? Because I'm a very chill, relatively like gentle, calm person. I like to laugh. I like to have fun. I try to be as kind as possible, sweet and charming, I'm told. So that side definitely shines through on like comfort audios and such. But I also enjoy like acting, and playing different fantasy characters that don't necessarily represent me as a person. Um, so it really depends. Hamburger asks, "What's your sign?" I am an Aries. Next question is from Hakuna Matata. Something you'd like to do at least once in your life. Hold a sloth, pet a tiger, and like not worry about something for like a day would be nice. Like just once in my life, I would like to just not worry about something. Be fantastic. Sora asks, "What's your favorite musical? Hamilton or Dear Evan Hansen are my two favorite musicals. Granted, I'm not a very musical type of guy. I don't know a ton of other musicals, to be fair, but those are my top favorites out of the ones I do know." And they also ask, "What's your viewpoint on the LGBTQ plus community?" And like, I wish this didn't even have to be a question. You know what I mean? Like, why can't people just be good people? But I've always and will always be an ally and a supporter, especially somebody that is pansexual like myself. I've always been that way, and I always will be. So it sucks that the world is the way it is, and that people even need to ask. Next question from Katie did what? Two questions. First one: describe or show your recording process. When you get an idea, how detailed is it before hitting record? Do you have an outline either in your head or on paper to follow? Or do you just go for 20 to 30 minutes and see what comes out? It varies. But for the most part, it's sometimes no more than just one sentence. And I'll have the idea for like 30 seconds before I hit record and just go and see what happens. Sometimes I think on it and jot down ideas, certain like specific things I want to say, like certain lines I know I want to say in the audio, based on the idea I had. But mostly, I let the story tell itself as I go along. That's really my process, I'll sometimes get ideas from friends and other people, get ideas from other things that other people have posted, but yeah, I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking on it, because if I spend too much time thinking about it as I'm recording, like if I go past a certain point where I know I wanted to add something, I'll get frustrated and have to like cut a bunch of shit that I recorded and go back and add the thing that I wanted to add, and that can throw off the whole vibe, so I try not to think too hard on it or get too like involved in the pre-planning of everything. Their second question: have you learned anything surprising about yourself since becoming a VA? I mean, I've learned a lot about myself. Things that I'm into, things that I'm not into. I feel it's helped me grow as a person as well. I don't know if I'd say anything surprising, but I've definitely learned a lot, and it's been just an amazing experience for me. And I think these are the last few questions from Tina Morgan. They asked how I was today. Thank you, Tina. I'm doing good today. I stayed up too late, but I got some solid sleep, and I planned on sleeping later. But I'm awake now, and we're doing this thing, and so I'm good. I think today's gonna be a good day. Second question is, how tall are you? I'm 5'10". Third question, what's your sign? Oh yeah, I did answer this earlier. I'm an Aries. And how old are you? I am in my 30s. And I know some people, I get asked that a fair amount, and that's a fair question. But yes, I am in my 30s. So that is all the questions that I have to answer right now. And we are just over an hour. So if you've lasted this long, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Again, thank you all for subscribing. Thank you all for supporting me. I love all the comments and, just you following me in other places. And it's just, oh God, it's just such an amazing thing. I am so grateful for this opportunity to be able to, create this content that you enjoy so much, and that makes you want to, subscribe, makes you want to follow me everywhere. It makes me feel so amazing that I'm able to affect you and help you, or just provide entertainment for you. It's a very rewarding thing. So thank you for allowing me to have this space. I appreciate every single one of you, and I love you all, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.